If you're talking to a girl but would rather be castrated with paper cuts than think about how to ask her out on a date, then these 7 high converting steps might be exactly what you've been missing. I know your anxiety is probably at an all-time high, but I can assure you it's not that complicated. Step number 1, let's go! Here we have Dragon's Den, because you want to make sure she's invested. In order to do that, have a little look at your messages and see who's instigating conversation. If it's constantly you replying to her stories and she's responding with an emoji or, I don't know, a one-word answer, that's a red flag right there, bruv. So if you ask her out on a date, she's going to be running away faster than Usain Bolt. If, however, you're yin and yanging and the vibes are immaculate, you're going to want to drop in the soft close. You may be wondering, a soft close, Chloe? What is that? I come with receipts. He's got it with a 3-pointer, he shoots! And he did actually score, to be fair. The potential idea of a date, just drop it. Don't be specific yet. And see this right here? Dropping that after a voice note, which anyone's going to want to listen to. Genius. If she was on the fence and she saw this message first, she might not respond. But after this, guarantee she does. Hey Siri, play Eeny Meeny by Justin Bieber and Sean Kingston. You can't make up your mind. Mind. If she seems indecisive and she's giving you a maybe, it's gonna sting, but she doesn't value you enough. And why would you want to go on a date with someone like that anyway? If this is the vibe she's putting down that you're picking up, respond with something like, it sounds like you're super busy, that's cool, maybe we should just leave it for another time. Now the ball is officially back in your court. So now you sit and wait for her to reply. And if she doesn't, allow it. Do not, I repeat, do not double text. As much as you're tempted to ask her if now's a better time, do that and you've immediately scored an own goal. If, however, the response was positive and she firmed the idea, this brings us nicely on to in other words, find out what her schedule's saying and when she can make time for you. Asking for her schedule as opposed to giving her a date and time gives her less of an out, because then she can't drop the I would, but I'm busy. And also you're just coming across as more considerate. Ideally, you want the date to be as soon as possible, so you can be specific and ask her what her schedule's saying this week. When she's answered, then you can come up with the game plan of the date, time and place. But make it easier for her to say yes and go to her. When you've got the plan of where you want to take her, come with the big dick energy. I mean the time, place, I'll pick you up at 8 combo. Niagara Falls. Lastly, to secure the bag, follow up the morning of. Because your time is money and you don't want a no-show. For context, this was on my birthday, but Exhibit A of a perfect example. That'll be 3k for every date secured. Thank you. So you ask her out on a date and think everything's going great, but then she steps on the brakes and last minute she flakes. If that sounds about right, listen to this. Oh no, I can't ignore that. Those bars came effortlessly. Get me on fire in the booth right now. First things first, you're going to need to do a post-win evaluation. That means assessing how she responded to you asking her out and the conversations you had in between. It'll tell you a lot. If at first she seemed excited, you just weren't entertaining enough and didn't hold her interest. And asking someone out on a date too early is the equivalent of lasting 2 seconds in bed. So if her response was semi-mid and she wasn't here nor there about the offer, she probably said yes out of sympathy, much like when you ask us if we finished. You're probably also very aware that women are extremely emotional. Where guys are much more focused on physical attraction, women focus on behavioural traits and social status. So that window of time between asking her and the date, you want to keep as small as possible, because it's less of an opportunity for you to fuck up and give her the ick. And believe me, you do not want to become a meme in a girls group chat. I would argue that most girls probably would cancel a date for Central C, but what I mean is she's probably got commitment issues. But I'm trying to fix that for you. Oh, why do I do this to myself? No, but for real, it might just be a her problem. She could just be that type of friend that tells you she's on her way when really she's still in bed. But if you know your worth and value your time, you shouldn't be giving this person a second chance anyway. So moving swiftly on, T's and C's. No one ever reads them, but for some unbeknown reason, we always accept. Some girls will say yes just because they don't know how to say no, and to avoid confrontation. So the likelihood is she politely accepted the offer with the intention to later terminate the agreement. But effective immediately and with no 30-day notice. I know I've already mentioned the ick, but it's coming back up. And a walking, breathing, talking ick is a low-value male. Before you all come for me, this is just a guy that doesn't value himself enough. And it can show itself in many forms. When you put her on a pedestal and start simping for her. When you give pick-me energy and ask if she likes you. When you brag about your income or what you do. Give overall neggy vibes and complain about everything. Overshare way too early. And follow a fuck ton of other girls on socials. Oh my god, hang on, there's a really bad smell in here. Oh shit, yeah. It's desperation. Why are you trying to prove yourself? The easiest solution to this is stop giving a fuck and act like she already likes you. I guarantee you that's exactly what Mr. Still Your Girl's doing. Have you seen when a girl is with an attractive guy and she leaves him for a less attractive guy? The difference is the lesser attractive guy knows his worth and acts like it. So another reason she might cancel is because she got a better offer from a guy that follows all these steps. Here's the good news, nice guys don't always finish last. If she cancels and she's worth it, play Prince Charming, be understanding and rearrange. Social anxiety is screaming louder than all of us pro-choicers right now at the thought of actually having to take her out on a date after asking her. Then whip out your notepad because I'm about to take away all the guesswork and show you exactly what to do on a date to show her a good time. It was only a matter of time before TikTok phrases found their way into these lists. But first things first, you're going to get into a silly goofy mood. That could look like watching hilarious TikToks like mine or memes. Do people even laugh out loud at these anymore? Exhaling loudly through your nose at things you find funny before a date is one of the best things to do to alleviate those pre-date nerves. Next on the list, we have location, 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 which I personally think I should definitely be a voiceover for. First date locations are so important. Ditch the wine and dine and do something that's fun, exciting and memorable, besides sexy time. First of all, less of an interview type setting, and you can actually relax and have fun, which means you're more likely to come across as confident and not awkward. And it also means you then jump over the whole who pays on the first date hurdle. For things to go beyond the first date, the vibes do need to be immaculate. No pressure. Before the date, look at things to do near her and go explore shit together, because I guarantee you there's so much to her own hometown that she just hasn't even seen. Then she's going to be around that all the time and instantly think of you whenever you're not there. Have a few options of places you could go, but do not tell her all of them and ask her which you would prefer to do. Keep them in your back pocket and do the leading, because she's going to view you as a guy that's decisive and confident. And if you can banter with her while you're on that date, delicioso. Ladies and gentlemen, her. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I know you want to come across as interesting, but for the love of God, do not try and pull a Liam Payne, overcompensate and only chat about yourself for the whole date. I know being interesting is an important factor, but at the end of the day, if you want a second date, you need to show her that you're interested in her. So be curious, ask her opinions on things, I don't know, play 21 questions for all I care, just as long as she feels listened to and understood. Is an elbow and shoulder touch considered first base? I don't know, asking for a friend. The earlier you incorporate this to the date, the better. Obviously, physical touch with girls is a bit of a sticky one, but this is why touching her on places like the elbow or shoulder when you're trying to emphasize a point is perfect, because it's non-sexual. You can then read how she responds and you'll know it's positive because she'll feel more comfortable, do the same to you and move closer to you. Silent night. Oh, I need to bring out my mini microphone. Just know if there's silence, you don't always have to fill it. And if all of these signs are present, then the rest is history, babes. Are we about to kiss right now? Ugh. Actually just vommed in my mouth a bit there. Oi, shut up, just lips her. PSA for all the guys that have a date on the horizon. If you want the best chance at a second, you should probably listen to this. This is what not to do on a first date. First up, we have witness protection, because some of you take mystery a bit too far and act like it's your full-time job. Now, I understand that you want to show that you're interested in her, but if she's leaving the date only knowing your first name and the fact that you're alive, she's probably not going to be getting fanny flutters anytime soon. The same could easily be said for the X-Files. If your ex is on your mind at all, let alone even being verbalised, why are we here in the first place? Time is money, so stop trying to get under someone else to get over her. Be a big boy, spend some time alone, and get over your mommy issues. Third on the list, we have the food critic. This isn't Ratatouille, and unless your name is Mary Berry, Paul Hollywood or Gordon Ramsay, your opinions on what we order or how much we eat is completely invalid. So for the love of God, let the girl eat and just shh. Equally as discombobulating is when you have a whole grown-ass woman in front of you, yet you're finding whatever it is on your phone phone 10 times more interesting. And if whatever it is happens to be Instagram and other girls' photos, be prepared for her to stand up and walk out midway through. Now, I'm not saying she's girlfriend material or you should put all your eggs in one basket, but there's certain things that should be done in the privacy of your own home, this being one of them. Speaking of phones, the camera roll scroll seems to be a universal thing that all men do. As cute as it is that you want to go through your camera roll and show us your best bits, on the first date it's an absolute no-go. There's nothing more awkward than barely knowing someone and being sat across them watching them hysterically laugh at their own inside jokes. And sometimes this can go on for hours, so save that for when she's actually invested and you've wifed her. The most controversial topic in dating. Who pays for the bill on the first date? While a girl might offer to pay for herself, it's done out of politeness and as a test to see if you'll actually take the bait. And if you do, more time you can wave that second date goodbye. The early days dating part is the best bit of the relationship. So if you're not putting effort in at the beginning and at least offering to pay, in any girl's mind she's seeing that as a foreshadowing of the future relationship with you where you continue to do the same. And if you're the one that offered to take her out, then take her out. Last up we have female repellent. Now lads, if your boys haven't told you that 3 squirts of cologne is 1 too many, I think you need to assess your friendship group. If your boy can smell you from 100 yards away down the hall, then back the fuck up and take a shower, or let your date know before she gets there that you're going to be a choking hazard.